Total drama eliminations. Let's talk about them. Did you ever just sit down as a kid and see the show come on and hope your favorite character never got eliminated? But then they did. Dreams would just be shattered into pieces watching their final moments as a contestant on the season. And I feel like that's a core factor of the show that just kept it alive. Total drama eliminations are the main gimmick that drive the format of the entire show. It's what keeps the show interesting. You want to know who's gonna win the season, who is going to win the $1 million prize. Only one person can win, so realistically, the writers have to find a way to write off every other character, but still do it in an authentic way where it feels like a reality show, because that's what the whole show is based around, a reality show. A lot of these eliminations are done really well, while others are a little more dumb. I get it, it's not easy to write off every character in almost every episode, but the way some characters in Total Drama are eliminated just feel forced and unfair. This honestly happens once at least every season. Whether it's because of another character, an antagonist, or just bullshit writing that makes little to no sense, it can be really frustrating to see some of our favorite characters get eliminated unfairly. So let's take a look at what were the most unfair eliminations in each season. Starting strong with Total Drama Island, and when I say strong, I mean strong. In terms of unfair eliminations, there is so much to nitpick here. Yes, this is the first season of Total Drama, so not all the writing's going to be fantastic. But like, damn, if you wanted to keep Heather in the show, just say that. It was very easy to tell that they had difficulty coming up with actual reasons to eliminate a lot of these characters. And Heather is basically like the content of the show, so you can't get rid of her. And she remains in the game for quite a long time, somehow avoiding every possible form of elimination. Instead, characters like Cody, Jeff, Beth, Bridget, and even DJ are eliminated for much minor reasons. I understand why they did what they did here. It kind of works. Until you get to Lashana's elimination. What happened here? Everyone says her name, and then all of a sudden she's just gone. And it's obviously played off and written as some very stupid joke that's admittedly kind of funny. But Lashana was such a likable character. Did they really have to do this to a likable character? I mean, in the episode, they literally admit it. Chris gives everyone the option to vote off the next camper. Katie and Sadie take that the wrong way and say Lashana's name. And then it's a rolling snowball of bullshit because everyone continues to say Lashana's name, and each time they say Lashana's name, it counts as one vote against her, which is so dumb. This is dumb. This is a dumb elimination, possibly one of the dumbest in the franchise. And it's really annoying that they did this to a likable character instead of someone like, I don't know, like Eva or something. But I kind of have a soft spot for this elimination because it's really funny. It's really funny. Lindsay is also an honorable mention here, but I'm not even going to explain why. Instead, I'm just going to move on to the next season. Total Drama Action. Most of the characters in this season are eliminated for fair reasons, but none of the eliminations compare to Lindsay's. Really, man? Basically, after the challenge, Lindsay and the others have plans to vote off Duncan. Fairly reasonable, and at the elimination ceremony, it doesn't look like it's going too well for him. But then we see somehow Duncan is safe, as Chris reveals that Lindsay accidentally voted herself off. Yeah. The character that was getting a lot of character development, if not the most character development in this season, formerly known for being easily taken advantage of, not being very intelligent or independent, but over the episodes finally making the redemption that she needed and becoming a lot more smarter and independent for herself as a character. Yeah, this character accidentally voted herself off 20 episodes in. Congratulations, Fresh TV. You really made great use of that character development. That was amazing. Who wrote this, man? How are you going to give a character this much growth, this much development, and this much screen time just to vote them off in the dumbest way possible? It seriously came out of nowhere. It's like they ran out of characters they wanted to kick off. And I know that it was rumored that Lindsay's voice actor had like an emergency or something, but I don't know if that's true, guys. It sounds like cope to me. It was one thing to treat Lashana like this, but Lindsay, after you gave her so much character development, it felt extremely forced and unfair. Now we're gonna take a look at World Tour, which actually felt like a nice return to formula after Action. Action was good, but it had a lot of filler episodes and just felt like it would be better with a 13 episode format. It just feels like World Tour made more of a use out of that. The elimination order flowed nicely too. There were no awkwardly big gaps where no one was kicked off, and the characters contradicted each other a lot nicer. There's still one elimination I don't rock with at all, and that's Noah. was. I've always hated this elimination. Similar to Lindsay, he's given a lot of character development this season. More screen time and interactions with characters like Owen. After Noah and Owen literally followed the instructions of the challenge, they don't win? What? Since when was that a thing? Team Amazon gets the victory for finding Duncan instead, which that wasn't in the job description. Alejandro didn't even participate in the challenge, yet he gets Duncan and Tyler to vote Noah off, and it just feels like he's cheated out here. You just left a character that didn't get a lot of screen time with absolute wasted potential. Twisting the rules to get rid of a character that they could have done so much more with just feels awkward and stupid. Before I move on to the next season, I just want to encourage you all once again to subscribe and check out some of my other content. Like I said in my last video, I do a lot of things on the channel and on my other channel. I'm trying to grow both channels right now, and I do animations on my other channel. I actually animated the Total Drama reboot with my own characters, so I highly suggest you check it out. And if you want to check out my Total Drama Plus series that I have going on the channel right now, the link will be in the description. It's really funny and entertaining, so I think you guys would really like it. Just you guys watching this video helps out my channel so much, so I want to say thank you, and if you want to support the channel and subscribe, that would be awesome. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. So Total Drama Revenge of the Island is the first season we're talking about that goes with the 13 episode format. Someone's getting eliminated in almost every episode, and they're actually really quick with the villainous sabotage. Scott takes out B and Dawn back to back. Although Dawn's feels a little forced, these aren't really unfair eliminations. Painful, but not unfair. Anne Maria's elimination, however, doesn't even feel like it could be classified as an elimination. This has to be the most unfair choice. I mean, I may not like the character, but the way her departure was handled here, she isn't even voted off. She quits, but then changes her mind because she found a diamond or something, but by the time she changes her mind, it's too late and she gets flung away. But the problem is, this is Brick's elimination, not hers. It just seems like they did this so they could squeeze in a double elimination and get rid of more people. Now that I think about it, that sounds really familiar. That's all I really had to say about Anne Marie's elimination. I didn't really like her, but it felt really forced. But if we want to talk about force, let's go to All-Stars, am I right? A number of things could be said about the eliminations in this season. Now, honestly, in my opinion, it's a little 50-50. Some are good and some are bad. But at the end of the day, surely they're gonna find logical reasons to kick off even the most beloved of characters. Oh my god. Really? A chart? This is the worst possible plot device a writer could pull out of his ass. Courtney, after becoming friends with Gwen and finally being on good terms with everyone for once in her mother freaking life, makes a chart, which by the way, was never mentioned in a previous episode. Why does she all of a sudden have the desire to put everyone behind her? When did she even make this chart? And then Mal gets his hands on it somehow? Oh, I get it now. The writers needed a reason for everyone to be mad at a character, so that character had a reason to be voted off. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, moving on to season 6, I want to take a look at— No! It's not a good reason to have a character be eliminated. How are you going to plot dump everything in one episode when it wasn't even mentioned before? There's no foreshadowing in this. This doesn't even follow the logics of the characters that you're writing. They couldn't come up with any other way to have Courtney get kicked off. Let's just destroy every relationship she's crafted with everyone on the island. Character development, my ass. Am I right, everyone? In the logistics and universe of the show, this isn't technically an unfair elimination. But this writing is very unfair. Easily one of the dumbest episodes in Total Drama history, alongside that fart fetish bullshit we got in the reboot. There's no question this is an awful elimination. So moving on to Total Drama Pocateo Island. This is another 13 episode new cast season, but it doesn't really feel like we get to know the characters all that well. A lot of these eliminations are actually pretty simple and well written. It's not anything creative, as there isn't a lot of good drama or a good antagonist in this season, but they didn't really go that hard with trying to bullshit their way through every elimination. I mean, hell, every character looks like it could be a first boot. Every character acts like they could be a first boot, which means every character seems pretty easy to eliminate. Max was someone who I definitely expected to go out a bit earlier. He wasn't bad, he was actually pretty enjoyable to watch, and I was surprised that he got pretty far. And then on the 10th episode, they just Anne Maria'd him away, and he was eliminated for seemingly no reason. Like, I kinda get why they decided to group them together in terms of elimination, but it's still unfair nonetheless. He wasn't voted out, nor did he do anything wrong, but it felt kinda sad to just throw him in there out of nowhere. There's not really much else to say about it. It's not like he was gonna win or anything. Heck, he's lucky he even got as far as he did. But it's still very much the most unfair elimination in the season. Now, Redonkulous race is a little more difficult to cover because they do their eliminations a bit more differently. It's the last one to the chill zone who gets eliminated. This, however, isn't the case in the 24th episode because an accident results in Devin getting seriously injured after being pushed off a cliff, forcing the best friends to leave because they can no longer compete. Because of how differently everything is done in this season, there aren't a lot of unfair eliminations to choose from, so I feel like this one was kind of the most unfair. In the events of the ending, the sisters were supposed to go home, but it ended up being them, conveniently after the climax of their plot had reached. And now we've reached the reboot, which I gotta say, they handled the eliminations pretty well in this season. Pretty much none of these eliminations are unfair. No one's kicked off unfairly. But if I had to make a choice either way, I guess I would go with Damien. It felt kind of stupid to just vote him off after he finally wanted to remain in the game. I mean, why is it that when he stops trying to vote himself off, that's when he gets voted off? Because everyone wanted to support his goal of being voted off. They obviously cut Damien too early here, and for a very stupid reason. I mean, of course, it was in one of the worst episodes of Total Drama, period. There's not much else to say about it. His elimination felt kind of on the unfair side. And last but not least, season 2 of the reboot. Now, in contrast to the first season, some of these eliminations are questionable. As a matter of fact, some of these could very easily be deemed as unfair. Mostly Ripper, Damien, and Michelle, so it's a choice between 3 of them. I get that Ripper's elimination was kind of bullcrap, but he kind of just willingly went, and it's not like his character development was going to go anywhere anyway. It was a pretty good symbol of where he was heading. Damien's elimination had me a little heated, but Michelle had to be the most wasted potential in the season. I already talked about this in my worst Total Drama characters for each season video. Michelle had so much potential to be a good character and make a redemption in this season. And that's not even the reason why it's an unfair elimination either. They just plot dump. Again, it's literally just the Courtney's chart thing. Except, admittedly, it's a lot less worse this time. Julia fakes a contract so that she'll have the desire to go to Hollywood and quit the show. But the whole season she was talking about how she hated Hollywood. So it kind of just... It's stupid. This just seemed like a lazy way to write her off, and you shouldn't have written her off in the first place. Why not make a different plot for her where she actually mattered in the season and lasted a little longer? She got booted 3rd last season. A very dumb way to eliminate a character and very much wasted potential. But I think that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think is the most unfair elimination in each Total Drama season. I'd love to hear your opinions. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you around in the Plushroom Kingdom.